So welcome back. Hopefully you've seen the first vlog on what you should deploy initially or redeploy if you're an existing distribution organization. You've also now putting out quotes with all the appropriate add-ons and at least making them decide on options that they require. What next? So you need to integrate the iasset.com platform with your ERP. And why would you do that? Effectively, what the iasset.com platform is doing for you at a CPQ level is monitoring everything that's going on, as well as we understand when an order comes in, whether it matches the quote that's gone out. Now, this is a critical component because there are plenty of times orders come through the door and they've forgotten this or forgotten that. Or, in fact, one of the big tier one resellers was running an ERP system that could only generate, I think it was 16 part number, a 16-digit part number, whereas some of the manufacturers actually exceed that 16-digit part number. So you can't guess what they've ordered. You've got to have that data in the back end. So you put an API between the ERP system and iasset.com. Typically what will happen is the order will be placed, the ERP system will invoice it out, and then it will tell your iasset.com platform that that has been achieved. So what happens inside iasset then is your renewable items will start their lifecycle process. So if it's just straight maintenance renewals and it's 12 months, we will start counting down until the next action point. And for you, that next action point might be 90 days, might be 100 days. It depends on your cycles. But what we used to do and what my customers do across the planet is 90 days is typically the first action. Then a quote goes out at 60, a quote goes out at 30, 14, 7 plus 0 plus 7 plus 14. What you must do is change the communication depending on the timing that's coming up. We have a great analytics tool that shows risk on renewals, and the closer it gets to the deadline, the riskier that deal is, and if it's a large deal, you want to make sure you're across it. So the iasset.com platform will escalate this process for you, either automatically or push it onto someone to action. The someone could be, if it's a large deal, it could be one of your channel account managers. If it's a smaller deal, either to your inside sales reps, or if you're using offshore resources out to those people that are working for you. So what sort of things might happen? So let's say 90, 60 is a normal quote. Here it is. Now the engine understands response, so if there's been no response, perhaps at 30 days you send a different note to potentially a different person saying, you know, this particular product is coming up for renewal. We haven't heard anything. Help us out with this. As you get down closer to the zero, you can do all sorts of actions. You can, obviously with your manufacturer's permission, you can communicate with the end user to tell them to come back to the reseller that sold it to them, because sometimes reps leave, IT managers leave, and that, you know, just that piece in my old company took us from an 80%-ish renewal rate to 92 to 94, because it's no one's fault, and we're certainly not, you don't want to conflict your channel. You're pushing it back to the people that originally sold that, or the reseller that sold that particular piece of equipment. So that's good. The reseller's happy because they're not losing the deal just because relationships have broken down somewhere. And then as you get on, you might offer other sort of incentives for them to renew post the zero cutoff. In the case of manufacturers that have, say, 3-year renewal rate, the 3-year part, typically you don't want to do a renewal in 3 years. You want to do an upgrade. So you want the engine to actually, or the platform to say, at 180 days, I want to start the process, alert one of my channel account managers. Let's go in with the reseller and have a conversation about budgets for the next year. And that will change your whole process. It'll remove all the manual labor. It'll remove all the manual processes. It's integrated tightly with your ERP so that your CFO knows that the things that are operating at a data level are all accurate and properly accounted for. and your resellers will love you because they themselves don't necessarily have an iasset.com platform. If they do, that's fantastic because yours will talk directly to theirs and remove all of the PDFs and quotes and things that you need to deal with today. This is all about efficiency. And what the vendors sometimes forget with the channel is when they put new programs in place, often it's at a productivity cost to the channel. The channel has to lift more. So this is all about giving that time back and that increase in productivity back to you as an entity, so that you can get on with more important things. Now, of course, you can automate the renewals if they're small enough and you have tight business rules and you have partner programs. That can all be automated, so you don't have manual touch, and you only have to deal with it if it's at certain thresholds that you dictate to the system. So I've covered the CPQ part, you've got the initial deal, we've now covered the renewal component and where you need to take that and how to make your partners more efficient, but the vendors will also be happier because your renewal rates will skyrocket. Although a lot of them are focused on net new sales, renewals are becoming more and more important, especially as we roll into sort of the cloud marketplace. I'll discuss cloud on a different vlog, but really you need to get that piece operational, which is net new sales and renewals. And if you get those two, you will start to build your install base. Now, a lot of people don't have installed base, and in fact, it's becoming so important in some of our other markets that they have someone responsible for installed base as well as someone responsible for renewals. Because once you trap all of your installed base, you can then take action to help customers mine it, deal with end of life, end of sale type opportunities, all of the things that come with that. And I will talk more about the install base on the next vlog. Thank you for listening.